Just how important are excise taxes to North Carolina in terms of the amount of money they bring into the budget?
Well, you wouldn't think that they're that important because they don't get much media attention, but they actually bring in $2.4 billion, or at least that's what they brought in 2011. That accounts for approximately 13% of total tax revenue for the entire state, so it's a pretty significant chunk.
Your report really details the various excise taxes, but then you go beyond those details and talk about why we shouldn't see more increases in these taxes in the future. Why is that true?
Well, because taxpayers need to know what they're paying taxes on. So if you go to the grocery store and you buy yourself a bottle of wine, you see the price, but you don't realize that a large percentage of that price is actually an excise tax. It's not going to the wine producer, the grocery store, or wherever. And so I think it's important for taxpayers to know that they're paying taxes. And if we hide them like excise taxes are, nobody actually knows what they're paying and where it's going.
One of the things mentioned in your report is the idea of increasing transparency about the excise taxes. How should we do that?
Well, on the federal level, there's been a new excise tax that's been introduced, and that has started to show up on receipts. Now, it would be difficult, but as we have a sales tax on our receipts when you go to the store, we should also have an excise tax. So if you go buy beer for the Super Bowl football weekend, you can see that you spent $3.23, and that was the excise tax portion of it. Or some other method, like at the gasoline pump, we put on there the taxes and the comparison to our neighboring states, but we never actually say this is how much is excise and this is how much is the cost of gasoline. So something to let people know how much they're spending.
You also talk about the importance of putting some measures in place that would prevent lawmakers from looking at the excise tax as a way to raise money in the future, like putting more money in savings accounts.
Well, that's correct. When I looked back at our excise taxes and found the correlation between when it was increased and when the state needed more revenue, it was always in budget shortfalls. So the last time it increased was in 2009 when we had the Great Recession. So if we had a larger rainy day fund, a larger savings account to where if we had a budget shortfall, we could use that money, we wouldn't have to increase taxes on things like gasoline or alcohol or tobacco or pipe natural gas to fill those budget gaps. We could use our savings as people do in their own households.